So today's gonna be a little bit on a rant because I have a lot of material that I want to bring to the table. Eventually gonna be, I guess my next videos are gonna be, well, I don't know which to talk first because I kind of wanted to kind of go step by step about my experiences growing up as a little girl. Let me know please in the comments if you would rather hear first how I experienced being an autistic person, how, you know, you go from, you know, because okay, I get a lot of, this is what today's video is going to be about. How I'm getting a lot of negative feedback regarding people thinking that I am making fun of people with autism. And I think the biggest problem here is because people could not be more off. Marlon! People could not be more off regarding, you know, people's misconception of autism. And I kind of understand their point. It is a very complex topic. It is kind of crazy. It's really hard to understand because I want to see my perspective from those people, because when I used to not know nothing about autism, and even when I found out that I could be Aspergers, I still knew very little. I got the characteristics, I went online and got all symptoms and started searching a little more, like Aspergers criteria, Aspergers this, Aspergers that. Again, like everything feels like, oh my god, that's so me. Oh my god, that's because I'm Aspergers. Oh, no wonder I do this, no wonder I do that, no wonder this. But a lot of people don't, like, I hate the fact that I'm gonna say this because accidentally I found out a lot of other videos with girls saying the exact same thing. And I do get the oddest point of view, because when these girls are talking, I'm like, okay, I don't know, like I think they might be like, maybe, could it be that maybe they're associating themselves with, you know, autism because of, you know, all the struggles that one can have dealing with depression and anxiety, which can be very similar to autism? Because I'm thinking, I mean, everybody still, like, it said, oh, well, stimming, sensory overload. And it's like, well, you know, everybody kind of has a little bit of sensory overload. It's up to how much people are willing to tolerate it, and, well, that's more complicated. But I do see when I'm like thinking, like, I do get that thought. It's like, I don't know, maybe she's just ADHD and she thinks she's autistic. You know, that doubt does come to me. But when it comes to me, like, holy shit, I'm like the most autistic person I know. Like, I'm really autistic. Like, you gotta see me. Like, you gotta be here with me and see how I am, like, in person. Because when I talk to a camera, it's not the same. It's not the same at all, because this is a version of me. This is a side of me where I am confident. I am literally talking to myself right now. So that is kind of like the best thing that I do. I am an expert at talking to myself. Like, I've done this all my life. So I'm really confident at talking to myself. So people cannot judge, you know, somebody because they're on camera and what, they wear nice clothes and da-da-da. Oh god, like, you gotta see the things. Like, I'm gonna post the stuff that I get, the messages that I've been getting on Facebook, that I couldn't find all of them because there was this one long ago conversation. I might have, I'm gonna look for it. I might have saved that old conversation. Again, I'm constantly getting in fights with people on Facebook, because that's one thing that I also doubt from people that say they have autism, because but then they say, like, oh, well, you don't have to have all the characteristics. So I'm thinking, well, then I don't know, you know, because I think, like, one of the biggest thing about, you know, I think my type of brain is that I am very unfiltered and very, like, my logic is very, you know, like this and narrowed, and then I overthink things, and just like everything that is described, that's me. So one big thing that I struggle with is affected when somebody, when somebody starts to bully me in any way, because I dealt with a lot of bullying growing up. I dealt with a lot of bullying when I was little, especially when I was a teenager. So there was a time in my life where I felt so insecure, and I felt so insecure because if I'm not very social smart right now, I was definitely not social smart then. And one thing that I think would have, most of my peers had that I didn't, was that they were very witty. Like, they were really good at comebacks, at like da-da-da, or know exactly, even if they didn't have to be sassy or fight back, they know exactly what to say to have people just leave them the fuck alone. And I didn't have that. Like, I don't know what is that I would say, but all that I know is that when I would say something back, oh my god, all hell would drop loose. Like, the entire class it would just kind of happen to me that I would say something, and then, like, I don't know if it was like people's fascination with my reaction. Like, they were just waiting to see till, like, because it would tease me until I would actually boom, explode. And I guess they would just get so, like, excited about it that then they will all, like, I will get, like, if it was 1 or 2 people teasing me, then I will get like 10 or the entire class teasing me. And it will happen to me all the time, to a point where I was like scared. Like, I was literally frightened, where like people would be teasing me, and at some point that my only escape was to just start beating them. Like, was to just go to, like, resolve to violence, because I was like, I'm not good with words. I'm gonna look like an idiot. Like, anything that will come out of my mouth, it's gonna sound dumb. Like, that's how I would feel. And yeah, like, I will have, like, for example, there was this one time where this one kid in my class, I don't know why, but I was literally, he was like, I think I was the second to last seat in the class, and I think I was tired that day. I was like falling asleep or something, and I was leaning my head against the table, and then this kid started hitting me in the head, like going like this. And I mean, he was like, me and this kid like are cool now. We're like, he's like a really cool guy at first. Like, he wasn't a horrible kid. He was just like one of those, mean sometimes kids that would like to bug, and he just kept hitting me. I don't know, he find an amusement to see my reaction. I think it's the main reason why most kids tease, because we love reactions from people. Why are these, reaction videos on YouTube so popular? Because we just love seeing other people's reactions. It's just kind of like a human, like, interest, like a cat seeing something move. Like, it's one of our fascinations. So people love seeing my reaction. I just obviously had a different reaction than the average person, so just people love seeing me react to teasing. And this kid was hitting me in the head, and I think I kind of like I went back once and be like what the fuck, and I went back, and I was kind of like, I think, laying on the table or something. I used to fall asleep a lot in class because I would daydream so much all the time. I my brain cannot explain how that I passed any of, like, how did I not fail? Not only that I did not fail any of my years, but I would have good grades in school. Like, I don't get it. But I think there was times where I did have to take, like, extracurricular classes. And it was so funny, because the second I would go to summer classes, to, like, tutors in the afternoon, what it will take a freaking teacher 3 months, 6 months to teach me, I will learn it in a fucking day. Like, I would be like,
oh, so that's what it is. That's what he meant? So that's what he meant the whole... Why didn't he just say it like this?
It's just one of those things, So, again, system is broken. System is not built for people like me. Okay, so this kid was hitting me. And it was just so constant, and he just kept hitting me. Like, who the fuck wants to be hit in the freaking head when you're trying to fall asleep in class? Like, how disrespectful is that? Kind of just let you go to sleep in class. So he just kept hitting me. And
20 minutes later.
I don't know why I didn't just raise my hand and be like, teacher, trying to sleep here? Excuse me, buddy over here doesn't stop hitting me. Like, what the hell? Or just simply like, hey, I'm being hit on the head. Like, what the hell? I'm sure that thought came to my mind. I'm sure. Because that was not an isolated situation. Things like that were happening to me a lot. And the problem here is that I remember, I don't know if it was that specific situation, but I remember that feeling very insecure about telling teachers. I would hardly ever I was the kind of person that if something would happen to me, I would never tell my parents. Never. Because I was 99.99% sure that they would find a way to find me responsible for whatever happened to me. Like, if I got run over by a car, it was most likely my fault for not, looking both ways of the street. So I always felt that no matter what, my parents hardly ever had my back. There was times where they had my back, don't get me wrong. My mom did defend me a lot of times. She's gonna watch probably this video and she's gonna be like, oh my God, how dare you. But yeah, she did defend me a lot, many times. But even if she defended me 100 times, that was like a 3% of the times that she could have defended me. Because this was a constant thing in my life. And most of the time, people always found a way to make me feel that something was really, really wrong with me all the time. And they would get to my mom and my parents' head. They would always make them feel guilty, and make them feel bad, or even like pity them, like make me feel like, oh, like it must be really hard to have a daughter like her, maybe you should discipline her more. And if only they knew that I used to be beaten with a belt. I used to be grounded and spanked on a regular basis. If I didn't get, spanked, or like beat really freaking hard once a week, that I wouldn't get beat at all. And yeah, my parents like to use the word spanking, but it wasn't spanking. It wasn't a tiny thing on the freaking butt. Like, it was literally being slammed against the corner of a wall and, marks of belts almost all over my legs. So I had a really rough upbringing. Like, I was disciplined hardcore. I would get put against the wall and put on timeout against the wall like a goddamn fucking soldier, military status. My dad went to military school, so he would discipline me military status. So my parents could have not been more fucking strict with me. And people still make them feel that they were not. They're just like, oh, your daughter, she's so spoiled, she's such a brat, your daughter's such a brat, that I'm sure, maybe like she needs some good ass whoop at home. It's like they would encourage my parents to beat me a little more than all they already did. So imagine that. So yeah, I was, all those things really get to you. I'm surprised I'm not like literally off of a freeway, asking for money at this point of how much shit I went my entire life. I lived in my car for months. I lived in homeless shelters. I crashed in couches. I crashed in motels that were paid by freaking drug addicts. I've been, in jail, in actual jail. I've been actually spent a few days in the holding cells of the police station and been in jail, like 2 different occasions. And neither of those times that I ever asked my parents to bail me out. Like, I will have to call my mom to tell her that,
I'm gonna have to spend, a night in the holding cell. It's no big deal. Can you call work for me? Like, I will have to make it sound like it was not a big deal at all. So I would not get in trouble with them.
And that was about it. Like, they were not like, oh, sweetie, what can I do for you? Da-da-da, how much money do you need for the billing? That wouldn't even been like...
No, like that would have never. Bail me out? Okay, that's really funny. I
cannot believe that people get bailed out in the first place. Like, you have to be facing some serious charges, or you have to be like really freaking rich. But it surprises me being in the holding cell, people like getting caught for grand theft auto or something, people who were obviously not rich, they were low lives who were, stealing cars and stuff like that, asking to get, a bail bonds to get bailed out. And I'd be like, for like $20,000 and stuff like that. I'm like, why? Just stay in jail for a few days. Why would you spend so much money on that? Like, what the hell? Yeah, that's crazy. See, I go on tangents. That's me. That's how I am. That's why people don't like talking to me, because it's annoying to hear me just go off and on stories. But so it's really hard for me to like always get to the point. And then on top of that, it's like I hate when I start a story and I was gonna make it to a point, but I start making all these examples and little side stories in between just to make it more interesting. And then boom, time is up and I don't make it to my point. And I'm like, oh God, no. And then they interrupt me, or they lose interest like almost automatically, and it's just kind of like, oh, but I wanted to tell you the point. I didn't make it to my point, and then I followed them around. Hey, but I was so my point nice seeing you. Nice chat. My point. What was my point? Well, that's not the point, but what happened, right? So I was really, anyways, I was scared. I would be scared of, telling people that I'd be in trouble or I was in trouble because I felt like it would make things worse. So I have the tendency to hold things in, build things up a lot because I always feel like, I don't know, it's like if I say something, it's gonna, it's not gonna solve the problem, it's gonna make things worse. So I hold and stop and wait until I can't take it anymore. So that kind of something like that happened in that situation in class. I remember I thought about I could have just raised my hand and told the teacher, excuse me, this person is constantly hitting me. What the hell? One time I did do that. And then sometimes even the teachers were such assholes that they would just laugh at me. They would be like, okay, Francesca, go back to sleep. They would just be I always felt really alone when I needed help with anything. And all of my life, not just as a little girl, as an adult and work and in college. College was a horrible experience. Oh my God. If you call College of the Canyons and you ask for the dean, what was his name, Michael? For the dean, and you ask about me, Francesca. Do you remember just say, do you remember a Francesca? She girl with aspergers or autism, whatever you want to say. He's gonna be like, oh my God, no way, Francesca. What about her? Literally, all of my schools. I'd always end up in the principal's office. What the hell? Okay, anyways, again, sidetrack. So yeah, and I just felt that if I told the teacher, he was just not gonna have my back. And instead of having my back, I don't know, I felt like I was gonna get in trouble or he was just not gonna help me. I felt like, that's helpless, I'm not gonna ask for that dude's help. He's not gonna help me. I'm not even gonna try. So I guess maybe it was hey, leave me alone, da da da. I think I did one small intent for him to, peaceful intent for him to leave me alone. When he didn't stop, I was in my desk like this. And then I'm an explosive person. You should see me. I'm not trying to record myself one, but I have I'm in that time I wasn't as exposed. I'm more exposed now. Well, kind of I was worse a few years ago. I'm mellowed down a lot now, but I was young at that time, so I wasn't really crazy, but when I would get mad, I would get mad. And it just got to a point where just kind of it was, if I could describe with a cartoon, it was just kind of one of those moments where it went from to just kind of smoke coming out of my ears or something, just from medium hot to boiling excessively. So the temperature went from
6.5 hours later.
It was a one moment reaction of me grabbing my heavy ass freaking notebook, because in Mexico we use very heavy notebooks and books. My heavy ass freaking notebook, turn around and slam the shit, hit the head out. I slammed the shit out of his head with my notebook. And I just went like this. And I don't even think I hit him, actually. I think he covered it with his hand, but I did get him a little bit. And guess who ended up in the principal's office? This guy. Yeah. So I'll make my next video about my terrible experiences that I've been having. Trying to start, I'm trying to share a message here. I am trying to share my experiences, my crazy life experiences living with, as an autistic person, so more people can really relate to it, and so that I really hope that more neurotypicals actually get to see my channel so that they can get it, okay? If they know anyone like me or remotely similar, maybe in a different version of things that oh my God, that happens a lot to my friend, or that happens a lot to my daughter or to my son, you would learn to understand how to deal with these, not to deal, but how to be more understanding of them, and how to just, not screw their freaking lives over. Help them out. Be a friend. Be, an inclusive person. Be that person in their life that they need. Please. That's the message that I'm trying to spread. And I don't know why some people really think that I am trying to make fun of whatever. And that's not at all the case. I'm all about, dark humor, and I have a weird sense of humor, but I'm sorry those who don't get it. I do laugh about a lot of my quirks, and I laugh a lot about, stupid shit that happens to me, because that's what life is about. You gotta either feel sorry for yourself or just laugh it out and shake it off your shoulder and move on and learn from that experience. My final notes are gonna be that it's been really discouraging lately to continue to make content, especially the content that I want to do where it focuses on, each, topic like dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADD, ADHD, OCD, depression, which is one major aspect out of my life, depression and anxiety, and many other things that a lot of people don't know, the social models of behavior, the social models of disability, the neurodiversity movement, all these stuff that I have learned and understood. I want to talk about that, but it's really hard because I don't make anything out of this. I don't make a penny. I could have literally been chilling right now, watching a movie with my boyfriend, drowning in ice cream. But instead, I'm doing this, and then I'm looking at maybe 40 to 60 hours of goddamn editing. I'm exaggerating. Some videos are more complicated than other ones. This one, it's probably gonna take me a few hours. But I need some more encouragement. I've been getting nothing but negative feedback from people on Facebook. They off the bat, just by the title, just by my name, they automatically, they're attacking me. They're attacking me saying, oh, this is what I was gonna say at the beginning. They've been saying that I'm a faker. I don't have autism. I most definitely do not have autism, because if I had autism, I wouldn't be talking the way I talk. Pretty much just trying to say if all the things they say, I wouldn't look the way I look, I wouldn't talk the way I talk. So they're trying to say that if I was actually autistic, I'd be dumb. That's pretty much what they're saying, and I have it all here as a proof. And you can go ahead and check my page, my Facebook page, Friendships with Aspergers. And you can see it too. It's there. It's under the comments of the Facebook. Oh, because they wouldn't dare to leave those comments here, because that helps my algorithm. So they're gonna go ahead and try to burn me on Facebook. So every time I try to, publish something, and I get in fight with these people. I have a huge sense for justice, and I am not gonna let them intimidate me. I'm not gonna let their stupid, ignorant comments be just said and then put me down like that, and me just say nothing, because that's not how I feel. I felt like saying something. I felt like putting them in their place, and that's one of the things that makes me me. That's one of the things that it's part of my autistic personality, that I have no filter. I say things how they are, and I used to let people get away with a lot of shit because I was scared and I was very naive. But I'm not a stupid little girl anymore. So now if they're going to attack me, they're going to get a piece of me. And I don't care if other people think oh, you're being nasty and you're being this. And yes, I can be nasty. I can be very vulgar and rude. Yes, I never said I was Mother Teresa. I never said I was a saint. I'm a freaking human. I am not a perfect person. I am a very decent human being for the most part, and I always believe in positivity and helping others and caring for others and da-da. But I'm not perfect. I'm not like this, saying, oh, positive vibes. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, negative energy, go that way. Oh, I'm not gonna. I don't know how to do that. Somebody's going to attack me, they're gonna get a reaction, because I am human. So that's what really surprises me about a lot of YouTubers, that you put a negative comments on their things and they don't answer. They ignore you. And I'm like, wow, that seems very neurotypical. How do you do that? Because that's one of the things that, that's one of the things that really, that's one of the things that makes us autistic. That we have no filter. So you're able to control hardcore attacks and not say anything? then maybe you're not autistic. Maybe you're just ADHD, like my mom. So, I don't know. They say that you don't have to have all the characteristics to be autistic. But holding up your thoughts like that's hardcore. That's one of the things that took me the hardest work to be able to hold my thoughts. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be like YouTube famous one day or whatever, but I do know that I am not gonna act like, oh, what are people gonna say or anything, because that's never been me. I don't want fame or anything to change me. I'm not gonna let people bully me or scare me from me being me and saying what I am. There is gonna be points in my life for like legal reasons where I'm definitely not gonna be able to say anything or say much. But other than that, like, that's my way of spreading awareness. I'm not gonna let a bunch of like bully, ignorant rednecks or just ignorant, stupid people go and spread all this wrong information about autism to everyone, and and just look at us with pity and be like, oh, da da da. Like, some of them even try to come up as like, oh, you shouldn't be making fun of disability, da 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 da. You are making fun of disability, by talking down to us like that and pitying us. I don't need your fucking pity, okay? I don't need your fucking pity. And I think most of the autistic people I know don't need it either. And most people that don't even claim to be autistic, but they suspect, are very scared of saying so because of that, because of the stigma, because of people like you, because of these people that say shit like that. That say that, oh, you shouldn't, if you're autistic, you wouldn't be, oh my God, you have to see the shit they say. You gotta see the shit they say. If you want me to post it, if you want me to work on this video, let me know, please. Put it in the comments below, and I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm never gonna finish talking. I talk too much. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I do have, we're trying to start up this new company, this clothing company with my partner. It's called Sick for Trees. Please, if you can follow us on Instagram, that will help us a lot so we can get started. Let us know your comments on the clothing, on the designs, which ones you like more. And also, my cleaning company, Excellence Clean Pros. If you guys can just, click on the link for the website, that's going to help us more traffic, and that's going to help me be able to make a little more money so I don't have to spend that much time cleaning, and I can hire more, people to, grow for the appointments, and then I can spend more time doing the administration of the business and editing. Okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm terrible at this. Bye.